Hello and welcome! Before I talk about today's film, I just want to quickly mention a comment that was left on one of my other videos recently, saying, "Dollars to donuts, Dave is a homosexual." Now, I gotta say, I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what it is about me or the content of my videos that would make someone come to a conclusion like that. Anyway, today we're going to talk about Kylie Minogue. Donut. Now, being American, I feel I must quickly explain who Kylie Minogue is.
Anyone here ready for the disco?
Although never a major success in America, Australian singer Kylie Minogue has spent the last 30-odd years being one of the most successful pop stars in the industry. In the United Kingdom alone, she has had over 50 top 40 hits, has the same amount of UK #1 singles as Michael Jackson, and as I'm working on this episode, her newest album, Golden, is currently #1 in both Australia and the United Kingdom. And if you're American, well, she sang that La 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 song. And if you haven't already been able to tell, you can really see by her live performances that although not exclusively, she definitely caters to a specific group of people.
So don't blame me for wanting you just too much. You're sexy. What you need is sexy love.
What? I'm just saying that she caters to a group of people that really appreciate great live performances. Seriously, her shows are pretty impressive. If you've never seen any of her live performances, I highly recommend checking them out. Like most successful pop stars, trying to break into acting is almost inevitable, and Kylie is no exception. Although, in Kylie's case, it is worth noting that she actually started as an actress. With all her success in music, it's easy to forget that by the time her first album came out, she'd already made a name for herself in the hit Australian soap opera Neighbours, where she played the feisty Charlene.
Well, you were almost rid of me. But I've just been reminded how I get on worse with my mother than I do with you.
Is that possible?
Usually when a pop star makes a movie, it's either a vanity project, or at the very least, it's a role that complements the image they've already created. Regardless of what you think of Kylie's films, you can definitely say she doesn't always pick roles you'd expect her to be in. For example, did you know she was in the film adaptation of Street Fighter?
Cammy, Guile's right-hand lieutenant, played by Australian pop singer Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, her acting roles include everything from a Pauly Shore film, to an episode of Doctor Who, to an avant-garde French film. Hell, she even popped up in a Bollywood film.
Baby.
The film I'm talking about today is Kylie Minogue's big screen debut, The Delinquents. By 1989, Kylie was already an international superstar, and with an American co-star on board, this was going to be the big breakout American hit she needed. And as of 2018, The Delinquents has yet to be released in America in any format. So what's this film about? The Delinquents stars an Australian pop star who plays a teen in the 1950s who falls for a rather unsavory American. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm thinking of a different film. Sorry, let's try this again. The Delinquent stars an Australian pop star who plays a teen in the 1950s who falls for a rather unsavory American. Okay, it's quite obvious that there's quite a few comparisons to the film Grease and The Delinquents, and I'm sure it's no coincidence. But they are two completely different films. First off, Grease is a fun-loving, feel-good film, while The Delinquents is a gut-wrenching drama. In theory. Also, Grease is a musical, while The Delinquents is not. Hell, the only song that Kylie sings is a cover of Tears on My Pillow, and it's buried in the end credits.
Tears on my pillow, babe, and my heart goes by you.
Although I will say the biggest comparison between Grease and The Delinquents is actors in their 20s playing characters in their teens. 15 my ass! Anywho, the film follows Lola and Brownie, two teens who meet and fall in love. Lola's mother is mortified over the new romance, and almost immediately Lola becomes pregnant. They decide to run away together, but don't get far before getting caught. Okay, there's a theme in this film that you need to know about, which is adult equal abuse. Seriously, any character that spends too much time with an adult in this film is gonna get their ass kicked.
You don't have to choke me.
I was getting all out of you. Did. Shut up. Who's gonna believe it? That's a boy.
After getting caught at the train station, Brownie stows away on a Navy ship and Lola's mother forces her to have an abortion.
Hold up a minute, Ellen.
Oof. After this, Lola takes off again and Brownie actually becomes a sailor who spends his free time roaming Australia looking for Lola. They do eventually find each other and try to start a life together, even sharing a home with a couple of young squatters. But their reunion's short-lived when they are arrested for vagrancy.
Have you got any money? You're in breach of the law if you haven't, kids your age. Let's see that bank book.
Look, I realize that we're empty right now, but I'm signed up to ship out in a week with a paycheck guarantee. Now I can get you all the paper.
That won't be necessary. Come on.
They are ordered by the court to have no contact with each other for 1 year, and per her mother's request, Lola is sentenced to live with a caretaker named Auntie, but eventually is sent to a correctional facility. I can't with this movie. Every character in this film that's an adult is just a one-dimensional monster.
Happy birthday, Lola.
Now, I was a kid once, so I can appreciate a film where adults are evil because, you know, adult.
I'm smart, you're dumb.
I'm big and you're small.
I'm right.
And you're wrong.
Matilda's a great film, and the adults are evil thing works because the film is so surreal. The Delinquents was supposed to be this gritty drama, and the adults just make no sense in this film. There's no motivation for them to be this horrible. I mean, the film offers no reason for Lola's mother to hate Brownie. It's just like she had to because the plot needed it. Even worse is the man Brownie's mother is shacking up with.
He only wants a bit of respect.
He orders me around like he owns the place.
He pays rent.
So do I.
Well, he pays more.
Now don't get me wrong, there's never an excuse for abuse like this, but the film never sets these scenes up. Here, see for yourself. These scenes just start mid-beating. You never see what leads up to it. It's just, you know, adult equal abuse. The only adult who's not framed like a cyborg programmed to get teenagers is a sailor Brownie befriends. Yes, he helps them out throughout the film, but in a way he's also an antagonist because he keeps implying Brownie and Lola will never make it because sailors love the sea too much.
Look, it's just that once we get to Brisbane, we'll be all right. I could be there to look after her.
Oh, yeah? What about when you want to go back to sea? God, you got a lot to learn, kid. Especially about women. There's only one woman you can rely on. It's the sea. Sailor's not meant for the domestic life. Too hard on the women. Believe me, I tried. Had me the perfect woman in Singapore.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark here and say her name was Brandy.
She has some saber in there. You're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. But my life, my love, and my lady is the sea.
The most interesting character, in my opinion, is the woman the courts order Lola to live with, Auntie. Yes, we're supposed to hate her, but I can't. She's arguably the only character with any real depth.
When my own baby died, and I couldn't have any more myself, I decided to devote my life to unwanted girls. I've been auntie to 2 generations of poor unfortunates, and I always tell them how much happier one can be in one's own home, instead of chasing cheap thrills.
Auntie genuinely wants to help Lola. It's just her idea of what's best for Lola doesn't match what Lola feels is best. Hell, she even lets Lola act out without consequences.
Oh!
Almost as if it's allowing her to get it out of her system. Any other adult in this film would have just given her the back of their hand. This could easily have been a point in the film where Lola finds an ally in an adult. But no, she's just framed as an old fuddy-duddy who needs to get laid.
You know what I love the most? I love the way he looks when he's just about to
Get to your room.
I kind of wish I saw this as a teenager because I gotta admit, in a lot of ways, I'm on Auntie's side. For example, there's a scene where Lola finds out that Brownie has been sending her letters and Auntie has been throwing them out.
Brownie Hanson was instructed by the court to avoid contact with you. My definition of that includes written contact. I was simply carrying out the court's wishes.
Well, she's not wrong. I mean, yes, as a viewer, I want Brownie and Lola to run off into the sunset. But all this woman knows is she's taking in a young runaway who was arrested with her boyfriend. Not to mention, all Lola does is shriek, break glasses, and smash cakes. What is this woman supposed to think? However, this does lead to the most unintentionally hilarious scene in the film.
I did it for your own good, Lola.
And here, it's such fun running this up on your nice little electric machine that goes frontwards and backwards and sideways and all around the town, buttonholes and God knows what other We can stick your stupid little front back on the streets again, aren't you? Anyway, it's better than here.
Okay. As hilarious as that scene is, I'm gonna admit that the weirdest things in movies get to me. And this scene always makes me sad. Look at Auntie's face. She's not rolling her eyes or claiming she's gonna get her and her little dog too. She looks genuinely concerned and emotionally hurt. It's almost like she's failed Lola and she's losing a child all over again. I don't know, I'm probably overthinking it. This film isn't exactly deep. Although this is the last time we see Auntie, so I just hope she's okay. I like to think that in the future, she's still out there helping girls in need.
Here we go, girls.
Aww, Auntie! So this film spans across 3 years, and by the time Lola's released from the correctional facility, they're both of age and now nothing is stopping them from being together. And I gotta admit, as many flaws as this film has, this is really the perfect ending to the film.
Lola! I'm pregnant again. Just my luck to marry a bleeding rabbit. It was a horrible place.
Wait.
We're together now.
What? No, this can't be right. No. But the journey's over. The cat's been saved. Why is this movie still going?
I don't think you understand what being together means.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, so even though the initial journey's over, there's still about 20-something minutes left in this film. And it's kind of weird that it's only 20-something minutes because a lot happens. It's a bizarre tonal shift. I admit that I'm being more critical in this video than I usually am, but that doesn't mean that I don't like this movie. I still recommend it. I've watched this film many times, and even though it's far from a good film, I still really like it, and I'm not 100% sure why. I mean, it's definitely not because it's a Kylie movie. There's plenty of Kylie films that I can't stand.
I am the Green Fairy.
J'ai 30 minutes. Tu as 30 minutes.
Oui. J'ai 30 minutes.
Ugh. You know what I think it is? I think it's that this film falls into that Legend of Billie Jean Last Action Hero category. You know what I mean? Like, there's a good film in there somewhere. It's definitely an interesting watch. So have any of you seen The Delinquents? What did you think? Until next time.
Round one, fight! Hurricane! Dragon!
Okay, now I've seen everything.